Well, hey everybody out there, welcome back to the channel. It's Chris here from JMNC Games, and today we are taking a look at a classic card game, SKIPBO. If you're a fan of Uno, you'll love this one. It's for 2 to 6 players, ages 7 and up, and the average game time is just about a half an hour. If you haven't already done so, take a moment to like and subscribe to our channel. We greatly do appreciate that. And if you feel so inclined, if the video has helped you in any way, you can support the channel directly by visiting Buy Me a Coffee. Now let's dive in and take a look at what's inside the box. Inside you'll find a very large deck of cards, and the cards are comprised of the numbers 1 through 12. There's also the SKIPBO card, and the SKIPBO card is a wild card and can be used in place of any number. To set up, first shuffle the whole deck, and depending on the number of players will determine how many cards each player should start with. 2 to 4 players deal 30 cards face down. Do not look at the cards. 5 or more players deal 20 cards face down. Once the deal is complete, players collect their piles and place it in front of them. Each player should flip over the top card in their pile. The pile is the objective of the game. Be the first player to get rid of all of the cards in their pile. When everyone has their pile, take the remaining cards and place them in the center of the play area, where all players can reach. This will be the draw pile. If it ever runs out, shuffle the used cards and replace. For discards, there are 2 sets of 4 piles. 4 discard piles next to the draw pile. This is a community pile where all players may play cards in their hand, the top card of their pile, or the cards from their discard piles. Each player also has 4 discard piles, which are placed next to the player's stack of cards. Only cards from their hand go into the discard pile. When a player places a card into their personal discard, it indicates that their turn is over. A player can also use cards from their discard pile during their turn, and we'll cover more on that in just a moment. Now, on a player's turn, they need to have 5 cards in their hand to start. Draw up to 5 total cards into your hand. Players are now trying to use their cards in their hand from their stack or the discard piles to create a running order of cards in the community discard pile, starting from 1 and going up to 12. A SKIPBO card can be used to substitute for any number. Once it is played, it is now the number it has substituted for. Once a player runs out of cards that they can play in the community discard piles, they can choose 1 card to go into their personal discard piles. This ends their turn, and the next player can begin. The next player follows the same order. Draw up to 5 cards into your hand. Play until you can no longer play a card in sequential order. If a community discard pile reaches 12, remove it and start again with 1. If you play all of the cards in your hand, you may draw 5 new cards and continue. Once you no longer have a card that you can play, discard 1 card to your personal discard piles. A few things to note about your personal discard pile. Just because you may have a card that can be played doesn't mean you have to. You can only play the top card of a personal discard pile. You cannot get a card from underneath the top card without playing the on-top card first. To win the game, you need to be the first player to play your last card in your stack. Once that card is played, the game is over. You do not have to get rid of your hand or the discard pile to win. And that is SKIPBO. Thanks for joining us today. We sure hope you enjoyed our short explanation on SKIPBO. If you got any questions, please feel free to drop them down in the comments below, and we'll be sure to answer those as quickly as we can. If you haven't already done so, like and subscribe to the channel. And now that we know the basics, let's play.